Welcome to VAK's lecture. In this video, we will discuss about multitasking operating system. When we work on laptops or on PC, we work on multiple programs at a time. We work on some document, playing music, surfing internet through browser, and many more all at the same time. These all are possible because we have multitasking operating system. Today in this video, we are going to learn about it, which is one of the type of operating system. In previous videos, we have seen on operating system and few types of operating system. I will provide the link in description box. You can catch here. Now let us start. In our last video, we have discussed about multi-programming operating system, where multiple programs are loaded into the main memory and CPU executes one process completely and then it moves to the next process until the previous process is not interrupted. In that case, CPU moves to the next process and it does not wait for the interrupted process. Multitasking operating system is the logical extension of multiprogramming. Multitasking is based on the same concept of multiprogramming but with some improvements. Multitasking is an operating system which allows user to perform more than one computer task. That can be a program or a process at a time. Multitasking is also called as time-sharing operating system. Now we will discuss about this. When you are using multiple programs, all these programs or processors are loaded into the main memory. Now these processors are assigned a specific quantum of time. Let us say the time quantum is 6 nanoseconds. So CPU will execute first process for 6 nanoseconds. Then it moves to the second process, which also will be executed for 6 nanoseconds. And then go to the third one and then so on. After the completion of the last one, again the first one will be executed for 6 nanoseconds. So the time quantum is the period of time for which a process is allowed to run. The multitasking operating system does the switching so fast that it feels like all processors are running parallel. And because it is so fast, users are able to work on multiple programs conveniently. Now we will see an example. We saw in multiprogramming operating system. Consider you are a school teacher and you have to take oral examination of students by asking them 4 questions each. You decide that I will ask only 2 questions at a time. So you start with the first student and ask him 2 questions. There are 2 more questions left, but you move on to the second student and ask the second student 2 questions and move on to the third student. Again you ask the third student 2 questions and then you move forward and you go on to the last student and ask the last student 2 questions. Now again you start with the first student and ask him third and fourth questions. As you have decided that 2 questions at a time, you move on to the second student and ask the second student third and fourth questions. And then you move on to the third student and ask the third student and then you move on to the up to last student. Now each student's questions are completed. Same as this teacher takes the oral exam of students, multitasking operating system executes processes using specific time quantum. Now let us see how exactly it works. Let us say there are 3 processors having particular time required for execution and 5 nanoseconds of time quantum is defined. Operating system assigns first process to the CPU. CPU executes the process for 5 nanoseconds and stops the execution for the process 1. Now process 1 has 10 nanoseconds of execution left. Then the operating system assigns the second process to the CPU. CPU executes it for 5 nanoseconds and stops the execution. Now the process 2 has 5 nanoseconds of execution left. Then the operating system assigns third process to the CPU. CPU executes it for 5 nanoseconds and stops the execution. Now the process has 15 nanoseconds of execution left. Then the operating system again assigns first process to the CPU. CPU executes it for 5 nanoseconds and stops the execution. Now the process 1 has 5 nanoseconds of execution left. Then the operating system assigns a second process to the CPU. CPU executes it for 5 nanoseconds and stops the execution. Now the process 2 has completed its execution as it was executed for 10 nanoseconds. Now it will be removed from the memory. Then the operating system assigns the next process to the CPU. CPU executes it for 5 nanoseconds and stops the execution. Now the process 3 has 10 nanoseconds of execution left. Then the operating system again assigns first process to the CPU. CPU executes it for 5 nanoseconds and stops the execution. Now the process 1 completes its execution completely for 15 nanoseconds. Now it will be removed from the memory. Then the operating system assigns the third process to the CPU. CPU executes it for 5 nanoseconds and stops the execution. Now the process 3 has 5 nanoseconds of execution left. Then the operating system again assigns third process to the CPU. As no other process is present in the CPU in memory, CPU executes it for 5 nanoseconds and stops the execution. Now the process 3 also completes its execution completely, which was 20 nanoseconds. And it will also get removed from the memory. This is how the processes are executed in the multitasking or time-sharing operating system. And it is different from the multi-programming operating system. Hope you understood the working clearly. If so, please like the video, share to your friends and subscribe my channel and also hit the bell icon for more interesting new updates. Thank you.